Hey everyone, this is Shauna and this is my first video blog. I would like to welcome you if you're a first-time visitor. At the end of this month I'm going to be promoting my first product on my blog, and it's called What You Didn't Learn in Sunday School, Women of the Bible. If there's one thing I've learned through my seminary studies and just being a minister in general, is that the stories of women tend to be glossed over. The main reason for this is because of 4 or 5 verses that Paul wrote in the New Testament where he's telling congregations that have specific problems how to correct those problems. And people take these verses to be meant for all time. I'm sure you've heard them. The first is that women should keep silent in the church, and the second is that I allow no woman to have authority over a man. Both sets of these verses are disputed as being originally from Paul, and there is also a lot of translation issues with these sets of verses as well. I will be getting into that more in the blog in this coming month, but I wanted, in realizing how much these 3 or 4 verses out of the thousands and thousands of verses in the Bible color all of the interpretation about the women who are in the Bible, the last few years it has been my goal to show these women for who they really were. Women in the Bible have various roles. They're not just wives and mothers primarily. There are business women, merchants, weavers. Women did a lot to financially contribute to their family. They had careers. They were leaders, both in the secular world and in the sacred. This is best seen in Deborah, who was both a judge and a prophet. Women act in priestly roles. They were instrumental in founding the early church. But all of this gets glossed over because we let these 5 or 6 verses that are in these letters to troubled congregations having big problems and Paul trying to correct them, and we ignore the rest of the canon. A canon that shows that women have always been equal with men, that God created woman as well as man in his image and gave them both the commands not only to multiply but to have dominion over the earth. The commands weren't divided up with the man having dominion and the woman being propagating. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Both the man and the woman, made in God's image, were commanded to multiply and to have dominion. So there are all of this stuff about gender roles and biblically ordained gender roles, and God ordained all these roles, one set for men and one set for women for all time, all men. It just isn't so. And we see this most clearly in the Bible because as the culture changes and the people change and other things happen, we see men and women both playing various roles. And all of this just gets swept under the rug so that this claim that God ordained for all time for women not to have leadership roles can remain, and women be kept in their place. And this next month I want to show that that just isn't so. It's a house of cards, basically, which is why there's so much turmoil about it, why it's not holding up in the Catholic Church, why although fundamentalists within the evangelical movement are trying to shove it down all of American Christendom's throat, it's just not working. It's not valid. And so this next month we're going to be exploring that, and at the end of the month I plan on releasing a study on this, What You Didn't Learn in Sunday School, the Women of the Bible. I'm also currently working on a book proposal which I hope to have out to an editor by the end of the year, or an agent, called Career Women of the Bible. And in the tabs over to the right, you'll see one for Career Woman of the Bible that has a bunch of old drafts. But if you're interested in the roles that women played and the big things they did, go ahead and start reading those. And I hope to see you back, and thank you for your time. And I hope you will join me on this journey this month of finding out what the Bible really has to say about women. Bye.